In 1622, a Spanish cargo ship called the Atocha sailed directly into a hurricane off the coast of Florida. Within minutes, its masts were torn apart and the hull was dragged to the bottom of the straits. The destruction didn't stop there. Weeks later, a second hurricane hit the same site, ripping the submerged wreckage into pieces and dragging a trail of debris across the seafloor. According to the ship's manifest, the cargo included 150 gold bars, 1,000 silver bars, and more than 50 chests of coins, a haul worth at least $500 million today. These two back-to-back storms turned the shipwreck into a 300-year-old cold case, scattering the treasure across an area so vast it was effectively erased from the map. American dive instructor Mel Fisher spent decades trying to track it down, moving his family to the Florida Keys to find the Atocha's remains. The initial search zone was overwhelming, covering a 200-mile stretch of islands and shallow reefs. Fisher and his crew spent their first year dragging metal detectors across 100,000 miles of the Matacumbe Keys. They covered immense distances every day, yet their cargo holds remained empty. Trawling a search grid of this magnitude was a losing game. Finding the ship required a new strategy to narrow the focus. The first problem was the location itself. Fisher's team was searching the wrong part of the ocean based on inaccurate historical assumptions. To fix this, they pivoted from physical diving to archival research, sending historian Eugene Lyon to search for primary sources in Spain. In the archives of Seville, Lyon discovered a document dated just 4 years after the sinking. It was a record of an early salvage attempt that had been forgotten for centuries. The report stated that the actual wreck was located in the Marquesas Keys, over 100 miles away from where Fisher had been searching. This single data point eliminated 99% of the potential search area, allowing the crew to concentrate all their resources on one specific patch of the seafloor. Even in the right location, they hit a new wall. The water was clear at the surface, but the bottom was a thick soup of mud where divers couldn't see their own hands. This diagram shows the DIY engineering solution Fisher built to solve the visibility problem. He attached large tubes to the back of the boat, positioned directly over the propellers. When the engines ran, the spinning propellers forced high volumes of clear surface water down the tubes and straight to the murky bottom. This redirected high-pressure water column acted as a mechanical drill, blowing away centuries of accumulated sand to expose the bedrock below. The invention bypassed the visibility problem entirely, revealing artifacts that had been buried under feet of mud since the 1600s. The tubes worked. In 1971, the clearing sand revealed a massive anchor, the first definitive evidence that the ship was nearby. However, they weren't finding the main hull yet. Instead, they were finding a scattered trail of individual items, like rusted iron nails, tarnished silver cups, and Spanish swords. To make sense of the mess, the team logged the exact coordinates of every object, plotting each find as a circle on a map. As they logged more data, these points aligned into a clear line, revealing the ship's path. Fisher used these plotted coordinates to solve the logic of the wreckage, drawing a direct line to the $500 million core of the Atocha.
After 2 years of following a faint trail of artifacts across the ocean floor, Mel Fisher and his crew had found almost nothing. They were running out of money, and the search for the Atocha was close to shutting down completely. In 1973, a diver exploring near an old sunken anchor spotted a glimmer in the sand. It led to a stash of silver coins and 3 massive silver bars worth well over $100,000. To verify the find, the crew compared the unique serial numbers and weights stamped into the bars against a surviving 17th century cargo manifest. The numbers were an exact match. Selling the coins kept the search funded, while the verified weights gave the crew confidence they were on the correct trail. Finding specific information in a massive digital archive is its own kind of search. To keep your research organized, you need a browser built for the task, like Opera R2. If you have dozens of pages open, tab islands automatically group them by context to keep your workspace clean. And with tab traces, a dark underscore highlights your most recently visited tabs so you can pick up exactly where you left off.
You can even compare sources side by side without opening a second window. Just drag any tab downward and it instantly snaps into a split-screen view. Opera also includes a built-in AI named Aria. By hitting Ctrl+/, you can ask questions or generate images right from the command line without leaving your current page. You can customize the look of the browser with themes like Aurora. Click the link in the description to download Opera today and start experiencing the next generation of browsing. Back on the water with a new magnetometer, the crew located 9 bronze cannons. Each one bore engravings that confirmed they were from the Atocha. The success was met with a legal roadblock. The state of Florida claimed ownership of the treasure, forcing Mel into an 8-year court battle to keep his rights to the find. A day after finding the cannons, disaster struck the crew. Their boat capsized during the night, killing 3 people, including Mel's son. The following 3 years yielded no new clues. During this dry spell, Mel relied on a survivor's account he had read, which claimed an admiral had smuggled 70 high-grade Colombian emeralds onto the ship. With finances drained and grief mounting, the story of the smuggled emeralds became the crew's primary motivation to continue. By 1983, Mel had won his legal case, but was $6 million in debt. Just then, his team detected metallic signatures far to the southeast of their original search grid. Historical records indicated the Atocha didn't sink in one piece. A second storm ripped the upper hull apart, dragging it on a different trajectory. The crew abandoned the old line, tracking small bits of treasure along this new path. Evidence of the second storm meant the treasure wasn't where the first line ended. By mapping this new trail, the crew shifted their search to the southeast, toward the actual location of the wreckage. On July 20th, 1985, 10 years to the day after the crew's tragic accident, a faint sonar ping led diver Greg Wareham to search 100 yards east of the line. His flashlight revealed an 80-foot shipwreck. Sitting on the ocean floor were chests of coins and a literal wall of silver bars. Among the wreckage, they found the evidence Mel had been looking for, a thumb-sized emerald worth $800,000, followed by a second worth over $1 million. Divers eventually recovered more than 2,000 emeralds. After 16 years, Mel Fisher finally had the proof to justify his search, turning a path of tragedy into a historic success. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.